Hello YouTube, it's me, Wade, for the NAA Awesome Video Diary. Today is day 14 of the NAA Awesome Video Diary, and it's day 13 of the NAA 90-Day Challenge. During the 90-Day Challenge, we agreed to do dials, we agreed to go to appointments, we agreed to submit applications, we agreed to check our pending applications, we read to enrich our mind, we listen to audio to learn or enrich our mind, we talk to our upline, and we recruit. So let's talk about how I did. I didn't get to do any dials. I came home from the library yesterday and my phone was dead. I was gonna swap my SIM card into another phone that I have, and that didn't work. I don't know why. I'm not happy about it, but you know what? We deal with what we have. We don't sit there and lament about what we wish we had. So I went to the library. It took forever to charge up my cell phone, and the battery on my computer was even worse. I think that I really seriously think that they have electrical issues at the library, because at the library, I'm not kidding, I sat there from like probably about 10 o'clock in the morning till about 5 o'clock before my battery was charged all the way. And I mean, it's just for my laptop. On my cell phone, it charged probably in about 4 hours. So anyways, let me tell you my library story. I lived in the valley in California, the upper valley, not the valley, dude. Great place, and all the libraries were the same, and I thought all libraries across America were the same. They were in the movies, they weren't in the cartoons. And that was the quiet please type of place. In the library where I'm at, everybody talks pretty much as loud as I am now, all the time. They'll talk even louder on their phone. Well, for this video, because I'm recording a day after, the power was still out of my house. This gentleman took a phone call, and he must have been partially deaf, because he was almost shouting, and you could hear every word from the other person, and I don't think he had it on speakerphone. The librarian came up and said, "Excuse me, sir." She waited for him to get off the phone. She said, "Excuse me, sir. Phones are supposed to be answered in the lobby, and that's for everybody, sir." And he said, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." She came walking past the table. I was going to be dialing TLPs. I was pulling TLPs, the stack. I got a stack about that thick. I was pulling them out of my bag. I had my headset into my phone. My phone was in the charger, so I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to call in TLPs. Most of those don't pick up anyway. I'll get my dials in, and then I'm not going to be so far behind on my dials. Plus, maybe I'll get a few appointments. This was actually the wrong mindset, by the way. When you do dials, the focus isn't to get as many dials in as you can. The focus is to get appointments from your dials. So, anyway, as she's walking past, she looks at me and she says, "You're listening to music on that, right?" And I said, "Yeah," because I was listening to Barry Clarkson. I'll explain that in a minute. And she said, "Okay." And so she looked down at my hand in the bag, like she was waiting to see what I pulled out, and I shifted my hand and I pulled out a cable that was connected to an iPad, or to an iPod, and I plugged that into my computer while she watched me. So I was like, okay, maybe. So after that, I went back to, I was online reading product, for NAA, and she walked away. About 15 minutes after she walked away, the guy behind me got another phone call. He answered it, and she went, shoo! She was right there. So I'm kind of glad I didn't start doing my dials. So anyway, I was on empty, and I couldn't go on the dials that the appointments that I had, so I had to call those appointments and reschedule. They were cool with it, not a big deal. I'm kind of disappointed because the thing is that through the carrier that I go through, if you submit your application before noon on Wednesday, they will send a check to your bank before noon on Friday, which I was all about. So, didn't go on any appointments, didn't submit any applications. My pending application I got in the mail, and I called up my client and said, I've got your application. Only he didn't answer, and he didn't have voicemail set up. So I called and called and called and called. My phone was going dead. It's another thing. Came home and was just like, well, that's screwed because I've got like 30% power on my phone. I need it to last until morning. So I'm not going to be making any dials. I'm not going to be checking iTunes. I'm not going to be doing Facebook on it. So that was that. The book I'm reading, I'm still reading Joseph Murphy's The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It's an incredible book. The irony about the power being out, you would think I'd have more time to read. I would just sit here and read. The thing is that the time that I'm normally doing reading, I'm at the library trying to juice up my computer. The time I would be online, I'm at home and it's dark and I can't read. So anyhow, I haven't gotten as much into the book as I'd like to. Normally I would finish this book, and it's like only what? It is 212 pages, which means that I should be done. And I'm not. Audio. I listened to Barry Clarkson's, what's that called? Your Profit Margin. It's a great listen to as a new hire, which realistically speaking, I'm not squeaky clean new. But still, I'm glad that I listened to it. He goes over a lot of good stuff for new people, what they need to get to do. Okay, so anyway, listen to that. Talking to the upline, I got an email from my upline, from my upline manager's wife, who's a part of the company. She was awesome, and she liked my awesomeness when I emailed her, and so we're awesome together. Okay, let's talk about recruiting. I had an idea. Now, I told you, I'm blocked on Craigslist for like 90 freaking days. And it was really making me mad. Because there's no rhyme or reason to why these things are getting deleted. Except that they must have a spider that goes through and says, this guy's not, he's posting, and we're just going to whip his fanny. Anyway, for whatever reason, everything that I posted, even if I totally changed everything, which normally the algorithm, if you change stuff, it doesn't have a problem with it. I totally rewrote I rewrote the job post for a different part of the job hiring. It was completely reworded for that type of job. And I still got that flagged. I was pissed. So anyway, had this great idea. Went in while I was at the library, which my library blocks the weirdest stuff, and Craigslist is blocked if you go through the normal thing. There's a way to get around it, and I did. I got in and I reposted an old ad for one of the original cities that I posted in. And I waited I did this when I first got in because I was really excited for the idea. Before I left the library at 8 o'clock that night, it still hadn't been flagged for removal. Or I didn't get the email saying it had been flagged for removal. So I didn't think to check it. I'll let you know. That's where I am on my 90-day challenge. On my personal thingamabob, power's out. I'm all kinds of disappointed about it. I can't do my dials because my phone can't hold a charge for garbage. I really need to be profitable in this business. And I will do what needs to get done. I mean, realistically speaking, with all the appointments that I made over the weekend, with the power being on, I would have, like, one of the challenges that I'm going to have is if I go to an appointment and I get an application, I won't be able to send the application because there's no power here. So, I'm going to reschedule. The thing is that I don't have any gas. I'm on empty. I have to wait until Wednesday. And then once that's set up, I will be able to afford gas so that I can go to these appointments, and then I'll make it happen. So, this is me, Wade, for the 14th NAA Awesome video diary. You're up to speed. Peace.